The opening words of this week's Torah portion, Bechukosai, seem perplexing. Im Bechukosai telechu, if you will go in the ways of my statutes and observe my commandments and perform them, I will give your rains in their time, the land will yield its produce, and the Torah goes on to list a number of special blessings until the ultimate blessing of all, the blessing of peace in your land. V'nasati sholem ba'oretz. Our sages were puzzled by the double language. If you will go in the ways of my statutes and observe my commandments seem to be the same thing. But surely this cannot be. Our sages therefore offered a number of suggestions to help us understand this. Rashi quotes from even earlier sages that the words of Im Bechukosai telechu, if you will follow in my ways, does not refer to observing the commandments, but rather that we must toil in the study of Torah. Shetiyu amelim b'Torah. In addition to observing, we must toil in our studies. When reading this week, I came across a beautiful interpretation which complements this idea. If you are ever in a long-term relationship, you know that it's not easy to always feel emotionally connected. Every marriage starts out with passion, love, and deep connection. As time goes, all of these critical ingredients seem to dim. Sometimes the relationship may feel flat and static. In fact, the longer the marriage lasts, the more likely you are to feel this way. It's just natural. Sure, you can have a connection-free, robotic, perfunctory marriage, but who would want that? That's a recipe for misery. So how does one prevent their marriage from growing stale? Is it possible to keep the flame alive? The answer is yes, but you must work on it. It isn't always going to be easy. You have to put a lot of effort into it. In order to keep a marriage alive, full of love, passion, and deep emotional connection, you have to toil. You have to think out of the box. You have to put your ego on the side and try to think what your spouse would appreciate. It's much more than just doing certain chores. Sure, that's important, but that isn't enough. You must let go of your previous self-imposed limitations and allow yourself to open and grow and to learn new things. The same applies with our relationship with Almighty God. We are instructed this week that just doing the commandments, the chores, isn't enough for the long-term relationship we want. We must toil to figure out how to make God a real part of our everyday. We must seek out ways, creative ways, to express our deep love. There is one more idea which is central to this, and that is the choice of Hebrew word Bechukosai, my statutes. There are a number of different words the Torah uses for God's instructions. Why choose specifically this Hebrew word? And I believe in here lies the key to this whole process. And that is, you have to care. The only way you will put in the effort to maintain, grow, and beautify the relationship is if you care for it. Bechukosai is from the word chakika, which means engraved. The letters of the Ten Commandments on the tablets weren't written. They were engraved all the way through the stone to the other side. You will toil on something that you care about. The deeper the subject matter is engraved in your soul, the more likely you are to come up with new ideas of how to further expand and lean into the relationship. This week is Shabbos Chazak. We conclude reading the book of Vayikra, the book of Leviticus. It's also Shabbos Mevorchim Sivan. It's a week packed with energy of unity and blessing. So let us follow the directives of the beginning of the Parsha. Im Bechukosai telechu, to toil in Torah and the observance of the mitzvahs. And we will be blessed with all the great blessings that follow. First and foremost, the blessing of peace in our land. May we merit a world perfected and redeemed with the coming of Mashiach without delay. Amen. Good Shabbos and a good Chodesh. Chazak, chazak, v'nis chazek.